All right, everybody, we're back again with another episode of Dixie Doggers podcast, coming at you outside of the compound here. We've got the world famous, infamous Jake Loiacano on the horn with us tonight. Just a world renowned dog man, fisherman, Pokemon or something. He's a man. He does it. He does it all.
I didn't have nothing G ready to say there. I was going to say something about
that's what I was.
Hold the light. Yeah, it's all rhymes wrong. You can't do it without saying a bad word.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it as best I could because sometimes we do get a little flagrant on here, but that's part of it. We are 18 and above episode, or podcast, but we try to keep it as friendly as possible for all ages and genres.
Yes, sir.
But
about like Uncle Earl 2024 in itself, it was an all around good time.
Yeah,
we had something for everybody. Those that like to get down and those that like to just get around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely, you could feel the vibe in the air, man. It was just like the whole week was just freaking awesome. I mean, it was like everybody, it was like it had the best vibe.
I'm serious. It was like a big family cookout.
Yep, and we had right at 600 entries total. Some of the classes had set records again. I think the old and young and the two dogs had the most they ever had. The puppy bay and the one dog was a little down.
Yeah.
The best of the best had a great turnout. Sportsman was great, man. That deal right there, like, if you're a guy that never competed before, you can come compete at Uncle Earl's and win you some hardware. Just in the sportsman class, just come win you trophies and whatnot.
Yeah, there was a good turnout for that.
Oh yeah.
Get your feet wet in that department.
Yeah. Do you happen to know who won in that one?
Man, it was a fellow from Southwest Louisiana. His name is Alan.
Okay.
5-0.
Yeah, I remember the dog name. Yeah.
Alan Adams.
Alan Adams. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations to him. Like I said, we had a few friends of ours that they brought their dogs, and they started coming to the events, within the last year or so, and they've decided they wanted to, like you said, get their feet wet in it, and the sportsman class was perfect for that, man.
Yeah, what was cool is Alan is he's a field trial guy himself,
mm-hmm.
but he does duck dog field trials.
Really?
He raises, trains, breeds a whole bunch of Labradors, and is very competitive at it. He's from right here across the river from me, and I think around Sulphur, Louisiana.
Okay.
But
that's pretty cool.
The dog he won with, he got a puppy from T.J. Thompson,
mm-hmm.
and it goes back to Goose somehow or another. And it did pretty well for him.
That's good.
Never seen a hog a day in his life. Showed up there and won him a belt buckle. He couldn't wait to show it off to everybody. He was pretty excited.
Hell yeah, I imagine so.
Like last year, the guy that won it, O'Shallow, he's a hog hunting fool.
Mm-hmm.
He cried when he won it. He thought he was just coming to go through the motions and run his dog a little bit.
Yeah.
He cried his butt off, man. He couldn't believe he won.
I know. I'd probably cry if I ever won something. I would suck.
if I ever win something again, I know I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
I might cry if I don't win.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Well, now maybe not like cry tears, but just like pissing and moaning, whining and crying. I do that.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Well, what were some of y'all's highlights, man, from the 24th? I know I got a boatload of them.
Yeah, we got to record some podcasts while we were there. We had recorded with Roy Furby. Let's see, man. My biggest highlight, all joking aside, is getting to see everybody. That's my highlight reel for the year, man. This is like my third or fourth time going, and it gets better every year. I wasn't quite as busy running around this year as I was last year, but it was
you weren't refereeing.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I thought you were hurt last year.
Yeah, last year I did a little bit of that. This year it wasn't so bad. But man, we had like I said, Roy. He drove all the way from where's he from? Idaho.
Yeah, he's from Idaho.
Yeah, he drove all the way in from Idaho. Uh, got to meet Miles Threadgill.
Yep.
Young guy from Florida. He made the trip. He had went to Texas and picked up some cur dogs, and he's just getting started out good in it. And he swung back by and hung out with Nate and all of us. Had some family that just drove in to hang out with us. I mean, we had a good week. I mean, like just a really good week.
That's one thing about Uncle Earl's. Like, if your thing is to just see everybody, hang out, pass a good time, there is nothing else in the world where you can see everybody that has a dog. It don't matter if you have rabbit dogs, cat dogs, fox dogs, coon dogs, hog dogs. If you have a hunting dog, you need to be at Uncle Earl's.
Yeah. Yes. We got kind of a local guy. He's about an hour and a half away from us, but he stayed down there with us most of the week, which they had their own place and stuff, but like he hung out at the camp with us. And Jonathan Johnson, that dude is a hog hunting fool. I mean, he
puts them on the ground.
Yeah, he knocks out.
He reminds me a lot of myself. I used to just be a regular fool. Now I'm a hog hunter.
There you go. But like just stuff like that, man. It's even though we're an hour and a half away from each other, we don't get to see each other that often. But we probably got to hang out more, for those few days than we do most of the year while we're right here but around each other.
Yeah.
Because life's going on, so so it's you actually got time to do a little bit.
There you can just kind of unwind. Like there's a lot of vendors and sponsors and stuff.
Oh yeah.
They're proud that the event's a success, so they can come and hang out with all their clientele. Don't make a flip if you sell kennels, collars.
That's right.
Puppies. It don't matter what. Like everybody that's into what you're into is there. Like when I say everybody,
they all try to help each other, man. It's crazy.
It's a community.
Yeah, it really is. It's a family, dude. Because like we ran out of stuff and people were saying, "Hey, man, I got some of that in the trailer." Dude, it's awesome.
It's a real family. It's a real family. Like some people there stuff. Some people will steal from you. It's no different than being at home.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Somebody will rear-end your car for you.
Yeah.
that too.
That's how it goes. That's family.
I guarantee you. That is exactly what it feels like.
What kind of highlights you want to talk about?
Man, Michael and Bob Batten winning the two dog. They've been around a long time. They've got close a lot in the last few years. They finally got back on top in the two dog. That was pretty exciting. They beat the best pair of dogs, maybe of all time, Goose and Cowboy in a three-way bay-off with Code Red. That was pretty exciting. I know nobody was more excited than Michael. He called his dad, who was in his 80s. He said, "Dad, we won Uncle Earl." And he said, "That's awesome, Michael." He said, "Call me in the morning." He said, "You don't understand. We won Uncle Earl." He said, "You don't understand. I'm asleep."
That's what I'm talking about.
But and then Hand Grenade won the one dog and the best of the best. That's 2 shows in a row.
Yeah, shout out GW.
Yeah, he's won the winner take all one dog event and the open class one dog event. Mm-hmm. That's stacking them points right there.
Yeah, and hand dogs. That Hand Grenade is a fine dog now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's he's getting up there in age. Everybody was wondering after last year if he'd lost a step. Nah, he just missed a step. He ain't lost nothing.
That's right. It happens.
Yep.
It happens. Sometimes they got to get in sync and everything get to working out.
Yep. And the winning was pretty scattered out. Triple R dominated the Puppy Bay. I think they won like 3 of the top 5 holes in the Puppy Bay, which is becoming pretty common. Mm-hmm. They raised the best young dogs every year. And Code Red and John Andrews won first and second in the old and young, and that was very well received. John had He had a lot. He didn't have a little bit of nothing. He had a lot of tragedy in his life. His daughter had passed away at the beginning of the week. He had to leave.
Yep.
Left his dogs with Ricky, and they entered a handful and can't do no better than first and second.
No, that's as good as you can do, man. And like you said, it's well deserved. John is one of the best men that I've ever met, hands down.
Yep.
Me and him we've become, friends over the past year or so, and which we knew each other for a while before, but like we worked around each other, and he's helped me do a lot of stuff, and he's really, really been solid as a rock, man. Just can't get any better than John Andrews. Actually, all the Andrews are like that.
From North Mississippi.
That's
They're
right.
right there in the corner by Alabama and Tennessee.
Yep, that's where I was raised. We had a group over there called the Northwest Mississippi All-Stars. I call them the Northeast Mississippi All-Stars.
Yeah, buddy. I'm just, if it'd be me, it'd just be Northeast or Southeast. You know what I mean? We left the stars out of it.
Be the superstar.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
I hear you.
We give it hell, though.
That's it.
But man, the amount of weight that Uncle Earl moves is just unmeasurable, man. Like even getting ready, all the people that are turned on for the May show, people that come to Downsville, they're just hardcore hog baiters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Uncle Earl turns on like a whole new market.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And you can't replace that.
No.
Outdoor venue, ginormous pen where they got to work the hog and everything. It just the degree of difficulty just goes up so much harder. And you get a lot of cool videos and stuff. I've been seeing everybody posting their videos to Instagram and all that stuff, and everybody's getting hundreds of thousands of views and stuff. And kind of following the pattern that, or I'm not gonna say a pattern, but like following the way of Goose, like getting the name out there. Like nothing moves a meter like a Goose video.
Mm-hmm.
Like nowadays, if you mention hog band, like everybody, oh man, you know that Goose dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine. He came over here. I hadn't seen him in a while, and his son has been in the military, and he didn't even know that we had a podcast or none of that stuff. I was like, man, I suck as a promoter. But anyway, and we were sitting there talking, and he was like, hey, my dad said, you know that guy that's got Goose? I was like, yeah. And actually, I called Randy and let him talk to him. And dude, he was just like starstruck. He just couldn't believe, I was like, and
when you do that though, you got to say, man, not only do I know him, but he owes me $20. Hold on, let me see if
dude, I get him every time. I was like, I told him, I said, now, I'm co-owner of Goose. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, just ask him. And Randy, being the guy he is, he falls right in there, And he's like, yeah, man, that's Joey's dog, man. I just train him and run him, I just work him, and
like the Green Bay Packers, they're owned by the fans.
That's it. That's exactly right. So, but yeah, how do you feel about the exposure in that sense on the social media and stuff, Jake?
I love it. There was a time where we were like dead set against it because it was a major tool used against us. Mm-hmm. And now, like the stuff that we're able to show people what we do, like almost immediately 10 years ago, if you were to post some of the stuff we're doing now, that was a tool they used against us. Well, now the antis are educated as to what we're doing, and they know that like they're just barking up the wrong tree. We're a legit sport. We're sanctioned by several states, and of course, like Animal Health Commission and different things like that, and Louisiana Forestry, all that stuff. And now, like, they're learning that the more they talk about us, the more popular they're making us.
Yeah, it's just helping the exposure.
Yeah, they just left us alone.
Well, I was just curious about that because, like you said, I know at one time, and not just the older guys, but a lot of people in general were against it. Against putting videos up and stuff. I was as well. I didn't want to put anything up. I was like, don't show even hunting videos, nothing. Just don't do it. But And now that's what we do all the time now.
We'll be back after a quick break.
We would like to interrupt this episode to take a moment to thank our sponsors and friends of Dixie Doggers Podcast. Southern Cross Cut Gear, Boars N Broads, Hardcore Hog Dogs and Cut Gear, Showtime Premium Pet Food, Animal Housing Solutions, Tuskers Magazine, American Doghorn Association, 4L Kennels, Hogbang.com, The Boar's Nest, Crockett Taxidermy, Mud Creek Hog Baying. A big shout out to all those people and companies who help make us who we are. Thank y'all.
Or even, I would even still try to coach some of our hunters up. So, like, you don't have to show everything.
Don't show it all.
Yeah. But, like, you're showing the gist of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it really turns people onto our sport, especially like you talk about some of these state agencies that are trying to control hogs.
Yeah.
The population and stuff. Like, we had a tournament before Uncle Earl's, kind of associating it or kind of coupling it with the hog baying.
Yeah.
And in a 2.5 day tournament, we took about 130 hogs out of the Louisiana population. You know what I mean? Like they can't do that statewide in any other method other than what we did with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't give them people but like 6 weeks to get ready.
Yeah.
Now they have a whole year to get ready. Like next year
they know it's coming up, so it'll get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we'll probably take 300 or 400 hogs.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll be able to hunt it next year. If you have it, kind of like at the same time or whatever. If it's going to be a different date, just keep us updated because I'd like to hunt it.
It'll be the second weekend.
Second weekend, okay. Because the Boars N Broads guys, they done theirs the same week or the week before, and then we'll be doing one in a few weeks ourselves. And every year it's the same thing. Like you said, it takes out several hundred head of hogs out of the system. And the more that we do that, they talk about the hog epidemic and all that stuff. Well, look how much that we're doing with dogs.
Yep.
It's a positive light, like you said. And the hunters, as long as they show everything that, like you said, just show the gist of it. We had to completely rearrange our videos the way we do them. We don't show the actual dispatch of the hog or any of that. We show where the dog gets there and then when it's done, and that's all it really takes.
That's right. And it's the most, the largest economic impact is doing it with dogs. Like not only do you have the dog, you have to care for the dog. That costs money.
Yep.
That provides an economic impact. There's the feed sales. There's the gear that they wear. There's, all the traveling to hunt and permits we have to have and all that stuff. Like, it has a heck of an economic impact coming and going, not just the harvesting of the hogs.
Oh, I agree 100%. That's like Uncle Earl's. Look at the economic impact it has on Winfield. Which that's a much bigger scale. But like immediately after deer season and right after turkey season, every little hole in the wall or little town or whatever you want to call them, what they got one stop sign or whatever. All those little gas stations, they get business from guys like us who are filling up the trucks and the side-by-sides and buying waters and cold beer and ice and snacks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
lodging, fuel.
Yes.
Hardware.
Mm-hmm.
You name it. The taxable income for the month of March for the city of Winfield is greater than the other 11 months combined. And that's just a microcosm. That's just Winfield.
That's just in Winfield. I mean, that's just one event.
One event. That's 7 days.
Wow. And that's greater than the whole rest of the year.
I guarantee you.
Yeah. Oh, I could see it without a doubt. I could only imagine that, like the motels and stuff. I wouldn't think they would be pegged out.
Every motel in Wynn Parish is booked a year in advance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know. I've tried to find a room the last, 2 or 3 weeks before there. Nope. Ain't happening.
That's what we're shooting for, Big Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
what we're shooting for 2025, we're gonna get Junior and Chaos in that winter circuit.
Man, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
They're due for one, man. That's my fault too, though, because we missed a couple of bays last winter. We just got so busy trying to keep everything afloat, and this year we've been trying to go every one that we can.
Yeah. Well, that May show, Memorial Day show, not only is it like Uncle Earl has helped it, but for the Memorial Day show, we always try to do a benefit for a hog hunter in need. And a good friend of ours was in an ATV accident, hurt his back real bad, broke his hip, his leg, and he's going to be off work for months.
Man.
And we're having a benefit for him there at the show.
Okay.
And the turnout for that, because he's a local boy, the turnout just for that is going to be immense. And then the hog band itself, with being right behind Uncle Earl, man, like all the new people that had never really, like, it's one of them deals that you just try it. Like I keep saying, like, if you run a dog, I don't care if it's a rabbit dog, coon dog, it don't matter. Like everybody there, it's all like-minded people.
Yep.
And folks, you really you're into the same things. And then you see the hog band and man, it lights everybody's fire. It's not like a lot of these trials you can't watch. Like a coon hunt, there's a 4 cast, and that's the only 4 people that get to see it. Those 4 people. Like here in Uncle Earl's, it's on a Saturday. It's nothing to have 1,500 people watching.
Oh yeah, it's totally different. That's what Ryan and Carter were saying. We talked to them the other day, and they've been past couple of years. They haven't been there on the weekend, and this year they were. And that's what Ryan, he was like, dude. He said, man, he said Saturday it's happening. He said that is the time to be there. I said, oh yeah, without a doubt.
Normally Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is a total level. But this year it rained on Thursday and Friday, and it was just, there were still hundreds of people there. It was a hardcore crowd. But like now Saturday was, pushing a record. And if it hadn't been for the rain Thursday and Friday, which you already, like on Saturday, you didn't have a place to park. Like people parked down the highway.
Got filled up, yeah.
People park down the highway all 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, coming in on both sides of the road. But 2025 is it'll be the 30th annual, the largest field trial in the country. It should be quite the reunion. A lot of old timers that hadn't been able to travel. They're out of the game now. It's kind of passed them by. They're going to come make an appearance. All kind of special things planned for that.
That'd be good. That'd be cool. And we'll keep everybody updated on it as it comes along. You just let us know, and then we'll keep passing it out.
Yes, sir.
But the next one, you said you'll have the Memorial Day show in Downsville.
Memorial Day, the end of May in Downsville, Louisiana.
Yeah, it's always a good time down there.
We'll have all the hard hitters there competing for the big prizes, and right now they're all chasing the hand grenade.
Yeah.
24 bay pin points. He is the current number 1 bay dog in the world, and everybody's gunning for him. Like it's lonely at the top, but somebody's got to be there. But everybody's gunning for you. That's the bad part of it. The good part is, like I say, somebody's got to be there.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. That's a tough spot to hold right there.
Yeah.
It's
the best spot to hold, but it's a tough spot.
Yeah, I guarantee you, especially when you got a 5-time world champ breathing down your neck. It's like Tiger. It's like Tiger on Sunday.
How many points does Goose have?
Oh, Goose has around 10. 10. His 9 or something like that.
Okay.
But it's not above Goose to score 20-something points in one show. Like when Goose puts his head down and goes to grinding, things start happening.
Yeah.
It don't take but one of them long talks by the campfire. Say, hey boy, you better get together, and then here it comes.
And then he's ready. There you go. But I like to see. I like hand grenade a lot. You know, I don't. When you got dogs of that caliber, it's so hard to kind of just pick one. To me, you know, it's like who's your favorite, and I'm like, dude, I got a list of them.
Well, put yourself in my shoes.
Oh yeah.
And you know, when you watch a lot of them runs, and you know what a lot of folks, you know, anybody that comes, they're sacrificing something. You know what I mean? Like a recital, a ball game, a little family time on the weekend, especially in the spring. A lot of times it's spring break, something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you see them hit a lick, you just plumb tickle for them.
Yeah.
And but you know, me being a Dallas Cowboy and a Texas Longhorn fan here lately, anything I root for just kind of goes to shit. You know? So, you see them up and comers, boy, you root for them real hard, and it just seems to like be the kiss of death.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, brother. I know. That's it's tough doing it like that.
But that hog hunt this year, man, like that was I wish I could have been there for that. There was a lot of the hard hitters that win all the tournaments around the country. That's why, you know, on such short notice, we were able to turn in like 130 head like we did. But like them boys, like folks will win on hurdles, no matter if it's the hunt, if it's the baying.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Folks, it lights their fire. And surely at the ticket booth on the weekend in Winfield, I guarantee you, nothing in the world moves a meter like Uncle Earl's.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of, like I said, I'm hoping we can hunt it this coming year. I'm gonna try to have all my ducks in a row and be set up, and because that would be something pretty cool if we could even hang in there and just get close to catching what Garrett and them could catch. Man, that'd be a highlight for me.
And we pay 3 holes in the stringer and 3 holes in the heaviest 5, so you don't have to just go smoke everybody, get something back.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, that'd be nice, but I want to smoke them all. I'll just be honest with you, Jake.
Like I don't.
It's tough.
When I run, I'm running for one reason. That's to win. If we can't win, let's go hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
But you know, of the big shows like that, the hog hunt, there's only 2 I know of that do a polygraph. And after I did a polygraph, which Tyler Gresham's always done a polygraph. Before me, he's the only one I knew. This is where I got the idea from. And since we did that on such a I don't know how to really have to say it, like such an open forum, like we publicized it.
Yeah.
Like everybody that puts on a tournament now is like, hey, who did you use? We want to have a polygraph too.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody, you know, because them boys go in there and they run them through the ringer. You know, ask them a bunch of tough questions.
Oh yeah.
And make sure everybody's, you know, everybody's on the up and up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of folks are asking around the country, like, hey, who did your polygraph? How you do that? How does it work? Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I like that. Like they know, like the cheaters, they'll call you beforehand asking how to bend the rules or how to get a terminology. Yeah. How to get a terminology. Something to do it. That's polygraph. Oh, no thermals, boys.
Yep.
No devices of any kind. No drones. We're gonna run dogs and we're gonna catch hogs.
That's it.
Yep.
We've dealt with that a good bit, and you know we've had quite a few heavy hitters that are from around the southeast, you know, toward Georgia, Florida, Alabama, all in that corner right there, and they catch a lot of big hogs. I've had several of them call, and by the time the conversation's over, they're not interested in signing up.
Yeah.
You know, they just because you can't really do it. You know, if you got a polygraph, then that eliminates all the bullshit. You know, but they want to try to figure out how to cheat. You know, like you said, or how to bend the rules, however you want to say it.
Right up till game time, I bet I had half a dozen trying to see how they could. You know, obviously not coming out and saying it,
Mm-hmm.
like wanting a rule worded a certain way or seeing if they could run their thermals because, you know, we bag big packs of hogs and we just want to, you know, in order for you to get these big hogs, we're going to have to pick the biggest ones. Well, you know, it's like a bass tournament. Like if Jimmy Houston could just walk out there and get all the 12-pounders, well, it wouldn't be much of a contest.
Yeah, it wouldn't be much, would it?
That's correct. That is cold.
It'll be
But
pretty tough.
I know this. The game, like the hog bang game, is getting, like everybody branching out, breeding their dogs and everything. Like it's getting a broader and broader group. It has. I'm gonna say 10 years ago or so when we started, there wasn't a whole bunch of folks that had the ammo to load the gun. You know what I mean? Now, I don't say everybody, but more and more people's guns are loaded, and it's making the competition more. It's making it better. It's making it more quality, more.
It's a higher level. It's a higher level.
Like now, one misstep, you went from first to 20.
You got to be on a. Nathan had a clip on our Instagram, I guess today or yesterday, and it was where me and Randy were talking, and that's what I even said. I said, the question that we've been proposed to so many times is, is it harder to make a good woods dog or a bay pen dog? And I said, well, in the past few years, from what I've seen, it's harder to get a good, consistent bay pen dog that will compete at a high level consistently. It's much harder to do that than to produce a woods dog now.
It is.
And I never thought I'd say
harder,
that,
It is 1,000,000 times harder.
Yeah, it's
tough.
To
have a competitive bay dog than a woods dog. Like in the woods, there's a million different ways to skin a cat. You can get it done by many different methods. In the pen, you have to do it without any errors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to have a perfect day, much less a perfect year or a perfect run. And now you're having to do it with 0 errors. And not, you show up in the one dog at Uncle Earl's, there might be, the top 5, we'll tell you the top 20, you know what I mean? Like you might have a handful of them that make an error. They're not all going to make an error.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Yeah. When you're firing that many high-powered guns, like you're going to have to bring it. And in the woods, you can do everything wrong, and still, on occasion, you can still produce the meat.
Yeah, we did that the other day, Jake. We did that, and we're gonna put a video up. Me and Nate were talking about it, and this is crazy. But we're gonna be honest, we had a little catch dog prospect, and we carried her to the woods very first time.
She's 10 months.
Yeah, 10 months old. We let her see one in a pen, a small pig. No issues. Went straight to work. We carried her out there, and they bait up a sounder of 30 monstrosity big hogs, and she got some trial by fire. She caught the first one with, of course,
they were big sows. There was no big boars.
The first one was going to be a shoat. The second
let me help you carry on. You got to work on your storytelling skills.
Oh,
like we caught 11 over 200 pounds. You don't tell them you missed the first stick.
Oh man, but we wound up catching. We caught two good sows, and we were trying to take some of them out of the group anyway. But like the third sow, she couldn't see it. You'll have to see the video. Like you couldn't see the pig at all, and she kept looking and kept looking. And then she gets up there and she started barking with the other dogs, and then looked at us like she was confused as hell. She didn't know what was going on. And I want to show the reality part of that. Like this was too much for that little dog for her very first time out.
She'd never really even been in briars, and it was just like a briar.
She's never been out of the yard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was her very first time out. So like you said, you can do everything wrong and still put the meat on the tailgate.
Yeah, she was probably wondering why y'all didn't bring it out to her right in front of the gate. Like, hey,
the first two was pretty much chip shots. I mean, but she's just doing what the other dog's done. But the last hog, they were baying it instead of grabbing a hold of it. And so she actually barked at it, and I was like, well, damn, catch it, And she could never see it. The hog finally blew out at her one time, blew out at us. She went in there to go to grab it. And anyway, we went ahead and knocked the hog out. But like that was just the point I was saying is like, yes, you can do everything wrong and still put meat on the tailgate. In the bay pen world, that's not an option. That is not an option right there. You cannot have a dog go in there and do every single thing wrong and never do any good.
You can't have them one thing wrong.
No, that's exactly like you said. There's so many dogs out here now. When we first started, if you made a 10 in the 2-minute round, in the first round, you know, we were excited. We were like, man, we're still doing good. Now it's like if all our dogs don't bay a 10, we're not even looking at the first round. We got to worry about the next one and the next one, and probably the next one. You know, that the longevity of it, that's where it's coming in.
After you get past that second round, then you can start. I ain't gonna say count your chickens.
Yeah,
but you can start wondering, like, man, we got a real shot now.
Yeah, exactly. That second round really, that's the nut cutting for sure. And that goes back to, like you said, with what these people are breeding up and the caliber of dogs that they're working with. That would go back to, you know, the bloodlines and the lineage and stuff like that. And I don't know, did you have that in there, Nate, on some bloodlines or lineage or anything in the history of it?
Yeah. What he said something about family history. I don't know if he knew.
Yeah, well, that way, yeah, I guess you were talking about his family history stuff.
Yeah, just kind of how you got into the bay pen, how it transitioned for you. Did y'all start out in bay pens, or how did you start with hog dogs, or how did you get into them? Did you start with some other dogs and transition? Just really that whole process.
Okay, all right. I'm ready to take off with that right now.
All right.
You want to do like a pause or anything?
No, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Just jump in it.
All right. How I got started in the bay pen, like the same way, like when I first started bay pen, everybody that bay pen hog hunted. There was no different. There was no separation between a competition dog and a woods dog. They just wanted to see who had the best bay dog, and that was the kind of the first contest associated with hog hunting. How it was determined was how well you bayed in the competition. And so we had a bunch of hog dogs. We shot all of them at it, and then, all right, we had a ringer, the first one. Probably still to this day the best dog I ever owned, and probably the winningest dog I've ever seen. He won. You know, back in those days, believe it or not, the absolute best hog bayings were on the East Coast. They were not Texas and Louisiana.
Yeah,
the best dogs, the best hog bayings, everything. It was more established on the East Coast, and so as we started traveling, we were winning here, we were winning there, we were winning at Uncle Earl's, and it was with our hunting dog. And also the hogs had teeth in it. So you had to, there was a different level of toughness and stamina that we have today. Now, you might go in and get smacked around a little bit, but you're not having to heal. You know what I mean? You ain't, you ain't having to go through the 3 weeks it takes to heal up. But, you know, and the main thing that's changed with the competition is the people. Like the dogs are, for the most part, the same. Like those same dogs that were winning back then are the ancestors to what's winning today.
Yeah.
Like the people are refining the technique. It's like hitting a curveball. You know, they did it a certain way. They went 2 strikes. They choked up a little bit and just tried to hit the contact. And now everybody's swinging for the fence. And you know, people are getting more knowledgeable as to what sours a dog. Like the first thing that a lot of us do, we all ruin dogs in the bay pen. You know, we think you got to run them, you know, push them to their limits, test them and everything. And essentially what you're doing is just, it's like a set of tires. You're wearing all the tread off of them before they're in the money. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like nowadays, like I can't tell you how many dogs that I've owned made their first 10 in the competition pen. They ain't even bayed in the practice pen. When I see the light bulb go off, all right, he's got it. He's a member of a traveling band now.
Yeah.
You know, all I got to do is see the potential, and then we go. Like I ain't wasting no tread on this tire. We don't practice. You know, we and honestly, like I didn't even do anything for condition. Like no more than we're running. I feel like as long as I keep him lean and mean, keep it. You know, the conditioning was at the food pan.
Yeah.
To me, not to say that running your dog don't help any. You know, all the stamina you can get does help, but it's a drive thing. You know what I mean? Like his mom and daddy gave him everything he needed. Just treat him right and keep him healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But in this business, You show me a dog trainer, I'll show you a liar.
Yeah. I figured that out real quick.
A lot of people, because I still sell some of the best pups going right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not training them. I'm giving them the right mechanics. Mama and daddy's giving it to them.
Yeah, that's I think that holds true in a lot of stuff. I've seen people argue back and forth about training, and like you said, the dog's already got what it's going to be. It's just whether or not you're going to present it with the opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, Charles Kemp would always tell us that the more you bay a dog, the more likely you're to teach it a bad habit or for it to just randomly learn one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. There's a million different ways to say it, but we're saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What Charles is saying is exactly right. The more, especially when he's tired, when he's hurt, if you're trying to push him through something, like a lot of people will freak out because their dog had a bad week. Oh man, he went to Downsville and he looked like crap. I got to work it. No, he just looked like crap. That don't mean he's a crap dog.
Yeah.
He had a bad week. He just had a bad week. Let him get out there, rest. Like Joe Montana, he threw an interception in the third quarter. That don't mean he ain't going to come back and beat you in the fourth.
Yeah. He's not going to go practice for 3 weeks.
That's right.
Or try to perfect his throw. He's already got that down. He just had a bad day. But it's hard when people first get into this stuff to not want to bay their dogs. And that, like I said, I guess me waiting as long as I did to really get into it is probably the only reason I didn't screw any of mine up worse than they are. I don't, we never bay them except when we're at the bays,
Well, every sport known to man, from boxing to tennis, the first thing or destination is called most folks make their own air. And the thing that sucks about Uncle Earl's is you only got one shot at it every year.
Yep.
And folks will get to Uncle Earl's and things don't go their way and I think they got to blow the whole system up. No, man, just judge your dog objectively. If he's doing it like he should, leave him alone. He's going to hang in there and he's going to win. Like, one thing that hog baying is similar to like baseball. If you get a hit 3 out of 10 times in baseball over your career, you know what you are?
Yeah.
You're a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, baby. You batting 300. Yeah.
You're batting 300.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's swinging a big stick.
Yes, sir. Because there ain't, and another thing, like people in college football talk about the Bama factor. They're judging, everybody's firing their coach. So like LSU, they won 3 national championships in 20 years, and they fired every coach but Saban. All them other ones that won them a title, they fired them.
Yeah.
That's what Saban was doing at Alabama. Don't worry about what Saban's doing. Worry about what
that's right.
You win in every one you're supposed to. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't blow it up.
And, I noticed that, like the same thing like you're talking about. And I don't even keep up with sports as much as I used to. But that's 100%, man. When Saban was really on fire, other coaches, man, they couldn't catch a break. If they lost, shit, that's it. You might as well go find another job.
Might have built the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
But had it really dialed in to take over and then blew it up before they got a chance to reach their potential.
Yep.
Same thing in the competition team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where being objective and some self-awareness really takes hold. And there might be some things that you kind of got to evaluate. Like, hey, yeah, this is my best dog, but he just might be one of them top 5 kind of guys, and you got to be happy with that. Keep breeding him and try to improve it on the next generation. Mm-hmm. That's part of breeding animals. Horse racing, hunting dogs, coon dog, whatever it is. If you're consistently hitting there at the top, you keep running it back. You keep breeding 2 of them top 5 together. You're gonna get a number 1.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like it's with you being, with the history that you have with this, like you said, coming from a hunting background, And I know y'all work cows and stuff like that with the dogs that you had. What kind of dogs were you running? What breed and what kind of bloodlines?
When I was young and agile and mobile and all that good stuff, I ran rough yellow dogs.
Yeah.
I'm talking about skinny, could see their hip bones, weighed 80 pounds, and we didn't bark at nothing.
Yeah.
Might have barked at the track. That was about it. And once they seen it, they caught it. Now I have predominantly running walker crosses, and I cross them with some of them crazy cur dogs, but they're normally 5/8 or more running walker. Take a cold track, run it, and bay 5 to 10 foot back in the woods because I don't want nothing hurt. And I like to drive that Honda, that old Pioneer.
Yeah.
I used to run the tread off my boots to get in there and bust up a knife fight quick as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And now I like to drive right up there to it and look at it and send my bulldog. And people say, "Man, you don't stop back here." Now, sir, you gonna break the bay? Well, if I do, then they better go run him down again.
Yeah.
Because I ain't getting my feet wet.
There you go. We got one of them Pioneers too, and that's where we done got. It must be something about once you hit that certain age, you just because we still got rough dogs, but not near as many. We like to sit back and pick our shots.
Well, you can't get caught up in them measuring contests. You know what I mean? Like you got to look back and see why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I enjoy it because it's fun.
Yep.
And going out there with my kids, and we drive up to the bay and catch the hog. We didn't crawl on our belly through water moccasins and red bugs for 800 yards. That ain't near as much fun. Now, when you're 25, yeah, that's fun. But when you're 40, I'd rather be standing straight up looking at it.
That's probably why none of my kids like to go with me, because every time that they went, like you said, we were crawling through briars or swimming a damn river.
I done heard why your kids don't like to go with you. Halfway through the hunt, all the U-Heaves and candy bars were gone.
Oh yeah, I'd knock them snacks out, boys.
You done ate all the snacks. There wasn't no more Viennas or nothing.
Yeah, back in them days, before diabetes got a hold to me real bad, for the diabetes, I promise you, I'd get me a couple Mountain Dews and a Kit Kat or whatever that was laying around, and them kids just had to fend for themselves.
Yeah, and that's why everybody talks about that one drunk uncle that always ruins the holidays and shows up and starts messing with everybody.
You talking about Rodney?
That's how Pat got his name, Uncle Pat. He was the uncle that showed up, made all the snacks, and busted the bay and everything.
Uncle Pat, yeah. Yeah, that son gun. We had a pretty good conversation the other night about some stuff like this. Talking about the dogs and all. I like old Pat. He's got a good bit of knowledge on him.
I guarantee you, he's seen every kind of dog, every breed of dog that's ever worked any kind of way, from cows to cats to ducks. He's seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
And a diverse knowledge like that is something that is irreplaceable. There's certain angles you may have never seen. Because I'll tell you what drives me. I don't give a damn about a cat dog. I don't. Now, I say I don't like to see him work. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't give a damn about a Labrador.
Yeah.
I grew up, and the first dogs I ever had were cow dogs. And I could give 10 cents about a cow dog right now. I want to run my hog dogs. That's all I care about. As far as record type stuff. That's all I want to do. And I'm not going to do anything else. And that type of knowledge that other folks bring to the game it's irreplaceable.
I agree.
Yeah. It's what other question did you have for Jake, Nate?
That's just about it. Just more into the family history.
Into the family history. Yeah. What your dad did? Your dad did he hog hunted a good bit?
Yeah. Actually, this is kind of a cool story. You've seen Swamp People before, huh?
Oh yeah.
All right. You seen the crew from Texas that had Bigfoot on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That is my dad's first cousin.
Okay.
We had some cow dogs, and he took us hog hunting. I think the first time I ever went hog hunting was in 1994, and it was with Harlan Hatcher. Like, as far as I knew, back in those days, more people might have called him Bigfoot, but my daddy's the only person I ever heard call him Bigfoot. We all called him Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
And he took us hog hunting with our cow dogs, and man, they were just naturals. They were as good as any dog in the race, and there wasn't a whole lot of race because they caught everything. And we didn't have what was crazy is we didn't have nothing. We had a collar with a nameplate on it.
Yeah.
No tracking device, no cut collar, no cut vest, nothing.
Yeah.
And we ran in a pine thicket on high ground. Like nowadays, if you're hunting in the woods like that, like I don't have any idea how you keep up with your dogs, especially if they don't bait.
Yeah.
Like our dogs then didn't bait. They caught everything.
Oh man.
I remember in '94, I think I'd either hadn't quite turned 11 yet or was about to. And we ran in the marsh a lot, which that hunt there, my first hunt I went on was in the piney woods. But we hunted in the marsh a lot. That was where our cow pastures were. That was the only land we really had to hunt. And I was probably in my early 20s. And all the hunting stories, I'd never hunted with nobody but family.
Mm-hmm.
And all the hunting stories I would hear is how all the hogs broke, all the hogs ran bad. And, I never said nothing. I just thought everybody else's dogs were junky. I didn't know any different. You know what I mean? I didn't know hogs up ran. Like them hogs in the marsh, right where you jump them, you're going to catch them or you're going to have a mess of dogs you need to tend to.
Yeah.
And
I remember those days.
And I just figured that everybody else's dogs, they wasn't what we had. Plus, we were winning all the field trials too. Like I was like, man, the proof's in the pudding. Like, don't tell these people nothing. Let them keep doing what they're doing. We'll keep beating them.
Yeah.
I didn't know. As you evolve and get to hunt different places and stuff, you start to learn that there's a little more degree of difficulty than just the spots you're used to. Plus, your dogs where they grew up, your dogs in their home environment are going to perform better than say they would on the side of a mountain and never been there.
Yep. Without a doubt.
And or just some good old dry ground,
Oh yeah.
A hog on good high ground don't have as nice as them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know some of the bloodlines from your cousin Harlan and your dad's dogs?
Man, I want to say those were mainly just like some old black mouth crossed up dogs. As far as like a family name or anything that went along with it, I don't remember anything like that. I know
Yes,
a lot of the dogs we had came from around Buffalo, Texas, and I don't remember how we ended up with them. But I know just friends of the family and stuff. That's where we got our dogs from, and then it ended up, evolving into what we were winning the competitions with. And like I don't own a yellow dog today. One of my catch dogs is yellow, and he's a pit. And there's parts of the country where that's old yellow dog Jake, and I don't own a yellow dog. That's just what they know me as.
Yeah.
Yellow dog Jake.
Hell yeah. That's pretty cool though. So y'all been dealing with hogs and dogs for a long time.
Long time. We've had cow dogs since the day I was born.
Yeah. And see, and that's what I've talked to a lot of people, and especially people like Oklahoma and Texas, their hog dogs all mostly derived from their cow dogs.
Yep.
And and I didn't know how hard would it be to transition, take a cow dog and put it in the woods, but apparently it's like you said, to the majority of them, it's second nature to them.
Yeah, it's almost a seamless transition.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool to show the diversity of that style of dog, Yeah. And how many times have you been asked about the bay pen stuff? About people, how many people have asked you, why wouldn't you use a blue heeler? Have you ever had anybody ask you that?
Well, most people realize that the blue heeler is probably the junkiest animal that was ever born.
I've had to bet you 50 people say, man, why don't y'all use a blue heeler or Australian Shepherd or something? I was like, well, it's a little different.
A heeler or a shepherd like that, they won't stay focused on nothing.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna rule anything out as just being completely worthless, but because there are callings for dogs like that. But in my line of work and things I've done, I wouldn't own one.
Yeah.
You know, they're just gonna, even if they have to stay after it a while, say 20, 30 seconds, they're gonna look back at you for like approval, like, hey, how am I doing? Doing good. What do you want me to do next?
Exactly.
You know, third dog's gonna put his head down and go to work, and he's gonna come back when the job's finished.
That's like the little terriers. I've had them for 20 years, you know, and I'll be the first one to tell anybody it is not the animal for this, but it's fun. Now, don't get me wrong. Like you said, it's, and I have had a couple that would really bay very well, but as a whole, no. Like, man, they don't have the concentration. They can't stay focused. They just get all.
And they typically start getting very catchy anytime the hog sits too still or moves too much, which is
Yes,
very common in bay pens.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. Which everybody has their preference. You know what I mean? Like there are gonna be people that say a blue heeler's the greatest thing they ever ate dog food, but like I would not put a Jag Terrier in the same class as a blue heeler. That's how worthless I think a blue heeler is.
Which, like, you know, with the Jags, you have an Americanized version now, and that's what we run. They're a bigger dog, a little bit leggier. They're more laid back. They're not as they don't spaz out as bad as the imported stuff. And that's what I like, you know, and I've put a lot of cur dogs to shame with them. I put several hounds. They just put their dogs back in the box, man. But that's not all of them. That's, you know, over the course of 20 years, that's only just a handful out of hundreds.
And like you said, that changed.
Yes.
Like the first ones I've seen, rather than, you know, the first few that I've seen, the first come on the scene, they were probably more than European style.
Did you see the ones over at Reggie Little's?
Yes.
That was our first ones. That was some of mine.
Well, there was guys over there too, and there's another man wore an old leather hat, and I can't think of his name for nothing. Right? If you said it, I could call it.
Aldwin McGee.
Aldwin McGee.
That's his name.
See, his learned that if they stand in front of it and bark, they're liable to take a whooping. But if they go ahead and jump and catch it, they're going to get a whooping, and somebody's going to come in there and help them catch it.
Exactly. Aldwin had some nice dogs, but they were psychotic.
Yeah, they were wild, man. They would jump and grab anything, even if it was whooping them.
Yes. And
I think sometimes they would go ahead and grab it just to keep from getting a whooping.
Yeah, because the whooping didn't last as long. You know, they knew that if they had that big old red hog over there, and Clay Austin and Aaron Schinkel, myself, I was trying to think. Anyways, a whole group of us was over there and had two pups. It was Aaron's little dog Taz Jr. and Bacon, and turned them dogs loose, and they were young. One was like 7 months old, one was 9 or 10 months old, and they grabbed that sumbitch, earrings on both sides, and the old hog was just walking around. You know,
he was looking at the people.
Yeah, he was looking around, and finally somebody hollered, "Jump in there and catch the hog!" And I was videoing, and it caught it, and it was, you know, it was just one of those things that I love those little dogs, but at the same time, they have their place, and it's very hard to hunt them. You cannot hunt. I can't hunt them with a pack of cur dogs or hounds or anything else. I have to hunt them all by themselves, or just don't put them in the mix, because they're gonna screw it all up.
Yeah, especially if you send them to a bay, they're typically gonna go in there and go to like a bunch of ants, go in there and climbing on, get the race started again.
Oh yeah, it's going to be another race. Yeah, ain't no doubt.
Either do it one at a time or 6 at a time, but you can't be mixing them.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me to get used to was like, because there was a lot of people hunting them heavy. I was like, man, like I don't want to go in there and get my hands on one of these big bastards with just two little 15-pound dogs hanging on him, because he ain't even worried about them dogs. He's mad at me for putting them 15-pounders on him.
Oh yeah. And you're right. That's why, like I said, we kept breeding the biggest to the biggest, and over the course of several decades, not all of them turned out super big, but like my Oscar dog, he's 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I've got Kike, and she's 30 pounds. I got another male, that Dagger dog, he's 35, 36 pounds. And I mean, that's big for a jag. But they don't even act like you can put them out there on a stake, and they'll just sit there instead of jumping around, doing backflips and chewing their feet off. You know, the little ones, the imported blood, most of them act heinous. They're crazy.
Yeah. And I think they were bred for a little different game too.
Oh yeah.
Than what we're using them for too. You know?
Yeah, they were. There's a lot of guys overseas that, you know, they use them on hogs, on wild boar as the opportunity was there, but that wasn't their specific deal. They went to ground with them, you know, badgers and fox and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now that's a whole different world there. I've done that, and it's exciting, and that's one reason we ran them for a long time. Is if we didn't have a lot of hogs here, man, if we didn't catch a hog, we were going to catch something. I guarantee you. Like it might be a possum, armadillo. We're going to catch something.
That's how Pat is. Pat leaves the porch, he's going to run something.
Yep. And I like that, you know, there's no doubt about it. But when we go places now where the hog population is better, I don't want to catch nothing but hogs. So I have to leave those little trashy bastards at home.
Yeah, buddy.
So,
well, as May approaches, tell me some of the things you're going to be looking for at the Memorial Day show.
Dude, the first thing I'm looking for is to put my dogs in there and let's have a decent run.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I'm wanting to do.
That should be the first thing.
Yeah, that's the first.
When you drive that forward, that should be the first thing.
Yes, and that's probably what we're going to do on this go round. Is come down there just as participants and spectators. I don't know that we'll be set up as a vendor this time. You know, we've got a couple of vendors that are closer, and I honestly would like to come down and just hang out and see everybody and run my dogs, because I haven't got to do that in a while. And so that's what I'm looking for. Some of these younger guys and some of the people that are newer to the sport have contacted us and have talked with us back and forth. We should have at least a couple new people coming and bringing some of their dogs to give it a try.
Yeah, buddy.
As well. So, you know, that's
when you know you're putting out a good product, when new folks come and it turns them on, or the idea of what their friends have seen,
yes.
It turns them on. That's when you know you're going in the right direction.
Exactly. I know 4 or 5, like I said, that we've talked with pretty solid about it. And I know there's going to be 2 at least that'll show for sure and bring their dogs with them. And we're going to bring some dogs that they can run with as well. You know, maybe try an old and young pair or something like that, and just, you know, try to help them along. And if somebody else out there, you know, if they might have something that works better with them, you know, try to get them hooked up with somebody who'll help them.
And plus, you'll get to all these new folks that are coming. You'll get to tell them, say, look, all these exciting videos you get to see with all the who's who and the all stars, you'll get to see them in live action. And you'll realize that all these people are very approachable, wanting to help, and probably give you a plate of food and a cold beer.
That's right.
And a belly full of advice.
Yeah, and that was something that I really have never forgot, was the way we were treated. You know, when me and Nate first came down there, me, Nate, and my brother-in-law Joe Deal, we didn't know what to expect, and we had heard a bunch of stories here and there, both good and bad, and our first experience all the way to the last experience has been good. There's times where, I've got frustrated with certain individuals and stuff, but you're going to have that because like you said, we're a family. We've come to know each other, and I talk to a lot of these people on a regular basis, and everybody has offered advice. Sometimes when I didn't want it, but a lot of it has been some very good advice, and they have. I tell you what, they put dogs in my dog box. When I got home, I was like, where in the hell did that dog come from? And then they'll call and laugh, be like, hey, sent your pup home, man. And just stuff like that. You can't beat it.
And as far as that goes too, like folks that want to get started competing, that's the best way to do it. Like come see it firsthand.
Yes.
See how it all shakes out. See what you're up against, and then make your own decision as to what you want to move forward with, because ultimately that's the only way you're going to be happy.
Yes.
If you're going the direction you want to go, not the direction somebody pushed you.
And you got to show people that you're willing to put forth your time and your effort. And so just by driving 5 or 6 hours or 10 hours or however far you got to drive, that shows a lot right there in itself.
Well, not always. Sometimes you can just be a pretty girl and somebody give you a puppy.
Well, yeah, but that ain't going to happen with me.
Yeah, I understand.
I got to drive a long damn ways. Oh, my goodness. But man, that's this has definitely been a good episode here so far. We're already about an hour in. Anything else you want to talk about, Jake? You got anything on the mind?
Man, I'm really good. Right. I like what we've got into, and
make sure we covered everything. Yeah, man, that's what we're after.
And we don't just have to delve too deep into the depths of of our imagination.
That's right.
A lot of substance and a lot of fast-paced stuff. I believe the listeners will like it.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. That's all we got to do is just keep it working, keep it more fluent. It's supposed to be like a conversation to me. Yeah. Which I know a lot of podcast hosts and stuff. They ask a question and sit back. I can't do that, man. I got to talk to you. That's why I call you. That's why I want to talk to you.
And it's too hard to have structure too. Yeah. Because you never know where if it's a good conversation, you never know what kind of twist and turn it's going to have.
Exactly. You just kind of got to let it roll where it goes.
If everything was scripted, only the best writers would be the ones that get watched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ain't no doubt. That's good. Nate, you need to make sure you put that on there.
Like Joe Rogan's podcast is totally unscripted because he has good ideas, and it provokes thought from his guests, and then it gets the listener to thinking, because for the most part he's going to have a guest on.
Yeah.
That like-minded like his audience. So now we get to talking and thinking, and it's stirring the audience. They're involved now. I never looked at it from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. There's a podcast I've been listening to. I watch it on YouTube. It's called The Dozen. I think it's what it is. The Dozen or Dirty Dozen or something like that. Guy's name is Liam. And he has a bunch of like a lot of the more the UK mob type guys on, fighters, the bare knuckle brawlers and stuff like that. And man, he will get to talking, and those guys will go from talking about this match to their childhood to next thing you know, these grown men, the baddest, toughest men around, they're crying. I mean, because he just lets it go. And you need to check that one out if you hadn't. It's called The Dozens or The Dirty Dozen.
Even look at the direction that Joe Rogan's is at. Mm-hmm. Like they act like this guy is like going in one direction. Like that dude has changed his ideology politically.
Yes.
And everything. He's moved his residence over like thought-provoking stuff and what his audience likes.
Yeah.
Not to say that he's a great stand-up conservative, but he sure plays the part on the radio.
Yes, he does.
You know what I mean? He's molded himself to his audience, and he used to, like when it first became popular, he would lose me. Like you talk about these guys that do certain things. He's a comedian. What he is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now he's a fighter guy and a bow hunter. He's a UFC guy and a bow hunter now.
Yeah, totally changed.
yeah, like he used to lose me when he would start talking about aliens and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and he'll still do it every now and then, depending on what kind of trip he's on.
Yeah.
But like when he would get into aliens and be an atheist and different things like that, like, all right, I'm out. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to listen to a dude talking about Martians and no such thing as Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, now, like, he don't talk like that no more.
Yeah, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Like he changed, like completely. You know, he's a big time bow hunter now. He moved to Texas, correct?
Yes, he's in Austin.
Yeah, he was. Well, he lived in California? I think he was in California somewhere. And
California. Yeah. And Austin itself, like it'll catch a bad name, because there is some weird shit that goes on there. But like that's the most solid state capital in the world. It's red to the bone.
Oh yeah.
Now there's some liberal folks around there. Sure, there is. It's a university town, but within 20 miles of the city limit sign on all 360 degrees is hill country, bow hunting, dog running, stuff like that. It's hardcore cowboys and things like that.
Even the immigrants there are hardcore. There's a guy. He was, he's Pakistani or Indian or something. He was in a in a gas station. We stopped to get some diesel, and this dude tears the door, like he had the back doors locked, right? And he's waiting on us. Me and Joe are in there getting some coffee. It's 3:00 in the morning. This dude is probably 3 inches taller than you that's outside. And he's probably 3 times as big as me. I mean, he's a man, you know what I mean? He snatched both them double doors open and came in there and tried to jump on that dude. And that dude flat out told him, he said, "You don't fuck with me. I'm from Texas, son." And he said it in a Pakistani accent, and I about shit my pants. And like he took his cell phone. The guy was wanting his cell phone. He was all doped out and stuff. He took that cell phone and threw it and hit old boy right in the head and told him to get the fuck out of his store. I was like, this is my kind of place. This is my kind of place right here. Like this, they ain't messing around.
See, me, I wouldn't have been surprised like that because I know there's lots of places you go and act a fool, but it ain't in a Pakistani gas station.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That was just, I was just like, dude, like, and homeboy, he literally told him, he said, "I'm from Texas." He said, "You don't fuck with me like that," and hit him in the head with a cell phone. I said, "Shit." Oh, Joe Deal, he done had his hand in his pocket and the hammer cocked back. I was like, just hold on, Joe, wait a minute, see where it goes.
Yeah. Old boys done been down this road before, let him have it.
Yeah, that's what I told you. Now Joe don't say much. He don't say much at all. So when he reaches in his pocket, he ain't messing around either, But I told him, I said, let's see what happens. And that old big boy left. We asked the gas station, the guy there. I said, "Man, you good?" He's like, "Yeah." He said, and he gave us our total. I was like, "We'll hang out for a minute." He said, "Oh shit, I ain't worried about him." He said, "You come back, I got something for him." I was like, "That's what I'm talking about." Yeah, that's cool though.
I guarantee you they ain't worried about nothing.
Nah. Well, man, I appreciate it. It's good talking with you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And we'll.
I enjoyed it, and thanks for all y'all do, and thanks for always supporting me. And we ain't gonna keep on keeping on, Big Daddy. We ain't doing nothing but going up.
That's all we can do, brother. That's it. That's what. If everybody is cheering for each other, you can't beat us.
That's right. We're all on the same team.
That's it.
I guarantee it don't matter if we're treeing squirrels, coons, or running hogs, or deer, or even some of them sissy bow hunters too. You know what I mean? We're all in the same boat.
That's it, brother.
As long as we ain't talking bad about Jesus or Marc. I mean,
we're good. All right, Jake, buddy. We'll see you. Tell everybody we say hello.
Thank you, Jake.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Be good, man.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that concludes that one. We appreciate all y'all tuning in and listening. And me and Nate's here trying to make this thing happen. And we just want to tell y'all how much we appreciate y'all. We've noticed a rise in our downloads and our views, and we're going in the right direction. We just need to make sure y'all keep doing that. Make sure that you like and subscribe on YouTube or any of our social media platforms. y'all just keep it up, man, and we'll keep it up.
And also, if there's someone that you know closely at all, hell, if you just follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you think, hey, they're a good person to interview, they think they're interesting, anything like that, whether they're cattle dogs, blood tracking, squirrel dogs, coon dogs, it could be anything. If you have anybody you would like to hear on the air, just get their point of view on things, don't be afraid to message or comment down below, tag them, anything like that, and I'll get in contact with them. And if they answer, eventually they'll be on here.
That's right.
We appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank y'all. We'll see you.